God's great. My blessings would drown the rod wave. My demons wanna be Lincoln. That tough shit cosplay. Bury the beef and put your piece, Makina Conway. Really our west side. Really my left side is right hand man. Yeah, my two girls bring out my best side. Put the human man. Kind of man all in for mankind. Type of man. Terraform the land. If I see hell rise, must have seen man rise up on the trip. It's a landslide. Ambassador to natural disasters. Corrupt the rapture. The cap get captured. Lock it down, Marvin Sappin. The taxes can't mix the ties with the last. Shine drive Goliath blind. Archetype of a star. From afar I admire mine. Erase the shadow realm. I slash they shade. With a simple slice in time. Swinging down my lane. These monkey niggas trying to fight me.
I was when I was dancing.
Swinging down my lane, these
monkey niggas. The guy from Chappelle's show, I felt like he had on something. He had on something. You know, talking about Warren, the dude from Chappelle's show.
That was the good old days right there.
Man, that was a good old day. We ain't know how good we had it.
For real though.
Speaking of having things as good as you ever have it, you got the iCast back with another one. You know how we get down. Mark J and your boy.
Rashad, back again.
And not only that, we brought a new... I don't expect him to be a guest. I expect him to hop on and be a correspondent eventually. But not to put too much pressure on him. But anyways. Hey. Right. Didn't even say his name. Didn't even say nothing. But we got my man, a guy we've been trying to get on. A guy who... Me and Rashad like to bend his ear about crypto, AI, script, and his nice little human touch on it that brings it all together. So shout out to my man, Warren Gates, a.k.a.
Moika Pie right here. How y'all doing today?
Yes, sir. I didn't know your last name. I did, but I didn't know your last name was Gates. Let me hold $1.
Hey, I wish I can give you a couple dollars. You know, I'm trying to get into that AI stuff right now, man. I'm trying to work on that.
He can give me a little cryptocurrency. That's how he rolls now. He said this ain't the old days.
Right.
Yeah, crypto and that, well, it's getting there. I know Bitcoin and Ethereum, all that has been on the rise these last few days. And Doge, I didn't expect Doge to get as big as it was, but Doge has been doing numbers a little bit since I guess for the last few years. So
that's what I was about to say.
Just think about if you would have gotten on it from the very beginning of Doge, like
you had to have
kind of pretty,
really real pretty. You had to have diamond hands though, because there was was it the Doge millionaire? I don't know if you guys heard of him. He spent he took out loans, took out like $100,000 and put it into Doge. And then he just bought it like when it was like
for real?
But like close to 1 cent or below that. I think he's still holding, but that was like his whole brand on Doge.
Wow.
You know, with Doge's backing from certain people, I figured it wasn't gonna fail. You know what I'm saying?
It's probably the only legit meme coin, I'd say. Like all the other ones.
Hey, there you go.
All the other ones are scams, in my opinion. Like if you see one that's like, what was it? There was like Smart Coin, and there was what was it? You know, the cool dog, the cool dog meme.
Yeah.
They made like a cool dog meme coin, and then they made they were just but it was on I don't know. I wouldn't.
They had the.
It was more of a fanboy.
Yeah.
They had the Pepe, that frog coin. That was getting a little buzz for a second. I don't know how it's doing now. I tried a few. I didn't put no big money. I'm talking literally like $10 just to, it boomed. That 10 might turn to 1,000. But
you never know.
Like you said, all of them eventually just get washed out or they don't end up doing anything. So
yeah, Pepe coin
is
definitely one of those you just talked about.
That little frog, yeah, it's a funny little meme.
This shit is like
not so funny with the money though.
It's just like 0.0000001. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I made a little bit off of crypto though. Like I went through a little rough patch. I had to use my money. So I haven't really put any back in it. And right now is not a good time because it's booming. And when I started doing crypto, I found out when it's booming and you put your money in, you're feeding the people that have already been invested, basically.
Yeah.
For the most part, unless it's just going
Oh.
to keep just going up stupid. But for the
Right.
most part,
And then you gonna
for the
keep it
most
like,
part,
see, I should have did it. See, I should have did it. You know what I mean? Until you actually do it. And then that's when you'll be like, see, I got my money taken.
you just
Well,
gotta
yeah,
get rooted. You gotta get rooted in that bitch.
I think it's best to like if you are going to buy crypto or anything like that, you almost have to buy period like in increments over time. Just because
Okay.
like if you are going to do one huge investment, then that is where you'll mess up. Say you have like 10,000 you want to invest and you put all in right now, as soon as it drops, you're losing your money. But if you did like 10,000 over like months or weeks, then you'll be good because you'll be buying when it's up, when it's down, and
And
then
it'll
it'll
keep
average.
riding.
Yeah,
That
it'll be
average,
average. Yeah.
that
Okay.
average,
It's
that's
all
So
what
about the
see,
average.
okay, so see, that's okay. Because I be thinking I'm on some broke boy shit when I just, let me buy 100 here. Let me buy 100. You feel me? But like, okay. So it makes me feel better about my buying scheme.
you can even go lower than that. You can do 10
I know.
twenty
I know.
dollars like, I know motherfuckers with real money gonna do more, but somebody like us, we can do $20 weekly or
Every
bi-weekly,
time we see it
and
down.
or just like
Every
put it
day.
on reoccurring, however long,
Okay.
however increments that you want to, and it'll just automatically keep doing it. And like he said, it'll bring that average down. This is stuff I learned when I was down in Alabama. There was this guy, a shout out to Rail. He was put me on game on a lot of stuff, just stuff like that, where he's like, bro, you ain't gotta, try to catch up to nobody. Just do 5, just do 10, weekly, daily, whatever you can afford. And yeah, it works. I mean, like I ain't saying I obviously didn't get rich or nothing, but you keep, you forget about it, you come back to it, you be like, oh, this is growing.
Really
So what is
though.
that? So to like someone off the street, why is the average so important?
Well, it's because like it's called dollar cost averaging. So it's
Uh-huh.
like because I do the same thing with Robinhood just for like regular stocks. I try to put like $5 in every day on various stocks, right? And the reason why you want to do it every day is because stocks will either go up and down. There's always a pattern. So if you're buying all the way up and then all the way down and you just continue that cycle, say it goes up a lot to maybe like $100 and then it always goes down, say maybe to like $40, $50 for some reason, right? Well, on
Right.
the way down and all the way up, you might get more like a bulk of your stocks if you're investing the same amount at that lower amount. So
Uh-huh.
on paper it'll be like, say you're buying like 4 or 5 at the low mark, and then when it goes all the way back up you're only buying maybe like one.
Right.
Well, then it looks like, oh, well, the majority of your stock or whatever you're buying is at that low amount. So it just looks
Mhm.
better on paper that in general, it's probably just better to do it that way.
So in comparison, I guess the profitability between somebody who just throws it all in at one time and rides the wave is going to be higher because your incremental come ups is where you're making the difference.
Yeah, it's more like the compounding part of it because it's like you're buying more and more and more at the lower, but
Right.
because it's like a lot of the people like like whenever COVID happened, I started investing a lot during that point, and
Uh-huh.
like I know people were saying like because I had just started like right like the beginning of the year, I was like I'm gonna get on my stock game, and then as soon as that happened, everything kind of like plummeted, but at the same time I had a little bit more money, so I was able to put a little bit more into the stocks. So that when the stimulus came out and everything like that, due to stocks kind of rising in cost to kind of match inflation because it's naturally because prices are going to naturally inflate if the dollar is worth less. So if it
Uh-huh.
was like what was a $80 could be now $100 due to just how the dollar works. And by continue to put my money in, I was able to make more just because the dollar just was worth less overall.
Overall strategy.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I feel like we just like dipped our toes straight into, we didn't even dip our toe in, we hopped right in. We got our man Warren with us. Where you from?
I am from Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Just a small town, maybe like what, 30, 40 minutes south from here, Louisville. Originally, I guess I can answer your school question. I originally went to school here. I was going to do software engineering, but then when I had like my advisor, I guess didn't know what classes I needed for that track, so I didn't end up getting
Gosh.
into any of those prereqs. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be a history major. So I tried to do that, and I kind of switched through majors between. I went from like history, I did like astrophysics, and then eventually I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a break, and ultimately I went through a programming boot camp to learn a majority of what I know. So that's kind of what I did instead. I
Okay.
went the trade route.
And then where did that take you today as of job wise?
As of today, I am a lead developer for one of U of L's IT departments. We are now the innovation, I guess, branch at U of L's ITS. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of research in AI development and AI agents and just various tools on how they could be used in an academic sense, as well as how they can be used to secure various data sets and whatnot.
Okay. So you are a testimony to basically you don't gotta go through college, traditional sense to end up where you want to be.
Yeah, yeah. I'll say for the most part, I'd say so because originally I thought that I did have to go through school, and then that's why I did end up going to college and everything like that. But when it came to programming and learning about that trade,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I guess also after getting some work experience, I see kind of how it would have been beneficial for me to go to school, but when working with some people, like we work a lot with students, and the one thing that we've noticed is that not all of them actually like learn how to program really in class. They maybe learn the basics, but they don't learn how to actually like build something that would be like functional. It's all about the theory and not really about practice. So I feel like I would have learned more about the theory and that would have helped. But as far as I can figure out how to build a website myself. If there's any like new technology, I can kind of figure out how to do that myself. Whereas I don't think I would have been able to do that as well if I went through the traditional way.
That's cool. I was asking you before we got on camera that that name Moikapi. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, kind of. It's Moika pie. You were wondering about a little bit about it, right? Or
Yeah, like what is it? How'd you come up with the name? Like,
alrighty. So as you guys know, I'm also a gamer. So I
Yep.
was playing. I was playing. Have you ever heard of World of Warcraft?
Yes.
yes.
All right. So I was playing World of Warcraft. It was the Legion expansion, and they just launched Demon Hunters. So I have an interest in like the occult and supernatural and spiritual stuff like that. And I was a demon hunter, so I was like, I need to make myself. I need to make a name, something cool, spooky, something like that, right? So I was trying to name my character where Rasputin, right? He's the kind of like a cult leader in Russia during like I think 1800s, early 1900s, something
I've
like that.
heard. I don't know much about him. I've heard of him.
Did he say Rasputia? I just play. I know he's not going to shit. Keep going.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, I was trying to name it after where he was born. So I was like, I typed it in the Google real quick, and I was like Moika. But no, actually it was where he died. So Moika is the lake where he died. It's like a place in Russia. And then Pi, whenever I was trying, the name Moika was taken whenever I was going through Code Louisville, and so I put Pi because I was learning Python. It's supposed to be like you'd be like Moika.py because that's how you name the files for Python. So I just named
Mhm.
it Moika Pi, and then I just used that for all my game stuff. But the original name was Moika, and yeah, because of I was playing a demon hunter. But funny enough, I actually looked into how he died in Lake Moika, and it's supposed to be like really crazy because apparently they tried to like kill him like 3-4 times, and he just wasn't going out. Like he just like they did a whole, but they did a lot. They did a lot to my guy. So
Gosh. Oh
See,
gosh.
if I would have known that you were into, you said occult. What
The
else?
occult.
What else did you say? You say like the occult.
like supernatural, spiritual. Like I like looking into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we would have done a top 5 and more stuff about that.
Yeah,
Hey,
something that's next time. That's next time.
Yep,
Put that top
it's in my
five. Write that
notes.
down. Top five.
It's in my notes. You already.
Where did you used to get your occult fix from? Like growing up, like unsolved mysteries, like something on TV. Was it movies? Were you a horror guy? You were a supernatural movie guy? Like, how did you used to get it in?
I would say one, it was a little bit history, just because like there are a lot of ancient civilizations and whatnot. I'd say it's like history, and then like some things, like say probably like from like the Bible, just because of like the Tower
Oh,
of Babel. So me and my sister talk a lot about different things that happen throughout the world. Ancient aliens, I watched a lot of that on the History Channel,
mhm.
and how they would give their take on how history could have been from aliens. Because like I like aliens and stuff too, but that's kind of where I got my start. To me, I feel like a lot of it almost overlaps. And like I think maybe a couple years ago, I saw there was like a video on YouTube I was watching. This guy did like a deep dive into a few researchers who, well, one of them was like the grandfather of AI and the internet, which is also pretty cool since, you know, AI and now we're on the internet. But he pretty much developed it to kind of index like various alien and supernatural experiences he was like looking into.
So you're into aliens. I am too. So you're saying you really believe in them?
I believe
That they
aliens.
exist?
Yeah, I think they
Percentage wise,
exist. Well,
like percentage wise, it has to be like even on the 0.0001 basis, it got to be something out there type shit.
yeah, it's
That's
like
just
I say like 1% minimum. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't, because the fact that we haven't seen him, you know what I'm saying? It can't be zero, because as soon as you say, "Oh, there's never going to be aliens," there's going to be one that's like, "Hey, you said that we don't exist, so I'm here."
Okay.
That's how.
Have you ever seen a UFO? Anything?
I don't think I've ever seen a UFO, but I think I've seen ghosts when I was like a kid.
okay. I like
That's
this.
that's
Wow, I like this. We're getting good. We're getting good. We're getting good. Let me see. Do you have one, Rashad? An experience where you feel like you saw a ghost as a kid, or because you told me a story one time about somebody's auntie or parents, somebody, some shit.
I don't know if I've seen a ghost, like even thought I have, but I've had like certain experiences that were just kind of scary. Like I'd have to think on some of them. One off the top I can remember is this is when I forgot I was in elementary school. I was at home with my sisters and we were in the living room watching TV. And in the kitchen, we hear, I mean, all these pots and pans just fall everywhere. I mean, just clearly 3 people hear this. We all looking at each other like we the only ones in here.
that.
We all walk into the kitchen. Nothing. Nothing was out of place. We went through the cabinets. There was nothing that had fell inside the cabinets. We all was
Mm-mm.
like, nah, I'm pretty sure we either all went into the same room and shut the door, or we went outside till our mom got home. Cause we was like, no, that ain't I'm telling you. Like, and what solidifies something for me, you can be by yourself here something, you might be like, all right, I'm going a little crazy. When there's at least one other person with me and you make that eye contact with each other, like, did you hear, you know what I mean? It's like, y'all heard that. Yeah, you heard
Right.
that. You seen that, you know what I mean? So
It's
Yeah, that'd
tough.
been too much for me.
yeah, we was we
I
had
would
to
have.
get out of there.
I would have been outside. I would have been
We
outside.
had to get out of there. Like, no, that ain't cool. So
Did it ever happen again, or was it like only a one-time thing?
oh, okay. So now I'm you're jogging my memory. So then this
Okay.
is at we lived in a house at one point. This is like the first night at the house. Like we had moved everything in, got the bed set up, whatever. So some of the stuff halfway out, some of the stuff halfway in. I'm up in my room sleep. In the middle of the night, I hear something clicking together downstairs. Like just it just sounds like it's clicking noise. And I'm like, I ain't I ain't checking shit out. I just laid there in my bed, like, just go back to sleep, hope it go away. So the next morning, I go down and I'm just looking around the kitchen, like, cause that's where it sounded like it was coming from. And I pick up the salt and pepper shaker and I click them together, and it was that sound. It was that sound. I was like, nah, man.
Man,
It
That
was
that's
is
a few,
crazy.
freaky.
and a few things happened at that house too. So like, that wasn't the only thing. Like, one more. I'm gonna make it real quick. So my nephew, Lil Rodney, he's in high school now, but he was 3, maybe. He like would run out of this certain room at that house and like just be scared. And they say something about kids have that extra sense, they can sense stuff. So we just like, hey, ain't nobody in there, walking them back in there and stuff. And but he would run out of there and he'd be like, that man is in there. That man is in there. I don't want to be in there with that man. Like, so just
Yeah, no.
like, come on. Come on. This
Warren's
shit's
like, nah,
creepy.
that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, that place was haunted, bro. Yeah, they're right there. Talk about that
Has some.
man.
Right. Like, that shit's creepy. So
All
if I
right,
get him on here one day, I'm gonna have to see if
get
he
him to
remembers that.
solidify. Gosh. All right. Yes. All right. So then let me see. Mine Warren. All right. So Charlene, I think she still has the picture, bro. Took a picture in front of her house. I guess the light's kind of reflecting off her front window, but it looks like an image when she took the picture. It looks like a person's face in the window to a certain degree. And she's like, I swear that's Aunt blah blah blah. I swear that's Aunt blah blah blah. It looks just like her. And I'm like, keep that picture away from me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Man.
I'm sorry. So hopefully she never unveils it to you. I'm not going to be like, yeah, Warren, go ask her.
Yeah,
You gonna
no.
get it.
Too much for me. That's too much for me. You know what I mean? We may like the occult or supernatural. It may pique our interest, but I ain't trying to hop. I ain't trying to hop both feet in that lake with
Yeah, I'm not trying to go look for it. If it
you. Right.
pops up
Right.
on me, hey, that's how it happened. But to go looking,
Thank
that's
you.
a whole nother story.
Right.
Right.
Right. And then what else? I has maybe I don't. Sleep paralysis comes and goes. I feel like, but sleep paralysis, right? So I'm like, as a kid, I'm downstairs in my parents' basement, and you know how the basement's set up, and I'm like sleeping on the couch, right? Different couch, but same get up. And I'm sleeping on my stomach, and I'm like, I start to realize I can't breathe, bro. And then I'm like, nah, I need to move, but I can't move. Like to the point where like it feels not because people always used to describe it like they described it like in this old Nordish way because it's like back 1800s, 1700s. They used to tell their kids there's this little demon sit on your back and you can't
Yeah,
wake up, but you can look at it, you can see it. I okay, so this will go into my second story, but anyways, I just couldn't wake up, right? So I'm like, I feel like I'm about to start suffocating, and then I feel like I ain't even gonna lie, like my spirit, you know, my parents' house is like, imagine you flying like in your body, like flying into my parents' house, into my basement, into my body, like zoom, and then like I finally am able to like move my body, and I roll over, and I'm like, like in the middle of the night, type shit. All right, so
that's
then
wild.
this is my other one. So then I used to have this reoccurring night terror, and it didn't always end the same way. And I used to walk down. Look, I used to be. Listen to this. Listen to this. I'm about to mess y'all up because y'all about to be like, nah, y'all fuck me up every time. I can't do it every time I go over. I used to walk from my parents' kitchen. I used to see this red glowing light from in the basement. But I used to go to it. I couldn't help it. And when I used to get there, all the furniture was all scattered, bro. And there used to be a casket sitting in the middle of the shit, bro. And I used to be like, sometimes I used to be like, you know what? I'm gonna go see what it is. And sometimes I used to get that feeling. I used to be like, no, I'm running. But you know, in a dream, you run in slow motion. And I used to get caught.
Damn.
And I'm like, yeah, it was a reoccurring night terror. I probably had it like 5 times.
Hmm.
That's creepy. That's creepy for
That
real.
is. What made it
That's
go
why
away, or did just it
I
just?
don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
Literally don't. So that's what makes it weird because it's like haunted, not haunted. Was it just a phase, a period of time? You opened the portal. You feel me? A demon latched onto your ass. You feel me? I don't know. But like I still have sleep paralysis though, so like that hasn't gone away. You feel me? So it's like I don't have it as much. And you know how like y'all was talking about kids, like they can feel or see the gateway a little bit different than you can as adults. And I haven't had no experiences since I was a kid.
Hmm.
I still have sleep paralysis sometimes too. But I'm I've had it so many times that
I know
I
what's
know
going
when
on
I'm
now.
having
Yep,
it.
yep,
And
yes,
like
sir.
I it sounds weird and creepy. I fight back though. Like I'm able to like I move slow, but like I can move like an arm or something. Like I have to fight to really move it, but I keep moving
Wow.
it until I wake up and I just be like, what the hell? Like,
But they
but
said people say if your like leg falls asleep, wiggle your toes in your mind, and then you'll be able to start wiggling your toes in real life. I don't know. It doesn't work for everybody, but that's what people say.
See, I think I had sleep paralysis once when I was a kid. I was staying at my where my mom lives at now is my grandparents' house, and I fell asleep with like my arm behind my head, so I couldn't move, and I felt like I freaked out because I I couldn't move my body, but then like as soon as I tried to move, I thought like my arm fell off because I like couldn't feel my whole arm because it was like behind my head like this, and I was just like. I think I started like crying, and then my grandma came and was like, "What's going on there?" And I was like, "I couldn't move, and I couldn't breathe." And she was just like, "A witch was sitting on your chest. You be all right." And I was like, "A witch? What?" And then I had to. She like left, and I
See,
had to. Yeah,
see, see. That's what I'm talking about. Like, why do y'all tell kids? That's been going on for hundreds of years. People telling
for
kids
real.
there's a demon or a witch sitting on your chest or your back. You be all right.
Yeah, I couldn't go back to sleep. I stayed up all night, just like, what if it comes
Oh
back?
my gosh.
But for the ghost experience, I think we had I think there were a few like Civil War battles in E Town. So like we were like driving down the road because that's what I saw. I saw like it was some guy in like a Union uniform. He had like it was like two of them. One was like doing like this, and then one had like a rifle on his back. And like we were like driving down because we could still drive down the road as like the main highway. And like I remember we were like turning, and like I was just like sitting there like looking at it, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And then like I think we just drove, and then they just like disappeared, and I was just like, and then I
How
told my
old were
mom
you?
about. I was like 3 or 4. And
that's crazy.
I told my mom, I was like, "Did you see those guys over there?" And she's like, "What guys?" And I was just like, "I'm not gonna say anything else," but it was just weird for me. I was just like, "Huh." Because I also, when I was a kid, I would see this. It was like deja vu. It tripped me out when I saw The Matrix for the first time because I would
Uh,
always see this like black cat, and it would like appear around a corner, and like I would like look at it, and then I would like go chase the cat to go see what it was because I was like, "What is this cat?" And then like it would be gone, and then I'd just be like confused, and I would see that like a few times when I was a kid. Like I would just see like this black cat appear, and I would have deja vu like crazy, like even later in life. But like I would see this cat and try to go chase it, and it would just be gone every single time, and it would be like around the car. It could be like around a tree, just like weird stuff like that, or like, even like around the corner of a building. I would like look around the building and it'd just be gone.
So you know
woo.
what that means, right? It means they just changed something.
Glitch
In
in the
the
Matrix
Matrix,
update.
yeah, it's a glitch, it's an update.
Yes,
So you
sir.
was getting updated, your reality,
Huh?
something like that.
And you
I
know, since
forgot.
you the script man, you the script man, you the
Right, you be
right.
the one
It's like
sitting
you
there
would
at
be the one
the
to get
screen.
the, but he'd be the one that would be his like power to be able to be
Hey,
in the in between.
yep.
Like he would be able to see updates. You know, I wouldn't be. You said the Matrix. Have you ever seen the code in life? You ever felt like you seen the code in anything? Because you do code. So like, is there any like overlap? You feel like,
I feel like, well,
or is
maybe
it
it's just
more
because
so
of me.
system of thought?
Uh, maybe. Well, yes and no. I do feel things has like things have a natural rhythm, but I feel like that is also just with like my knowledge of music. I feel like everything's kind of at like a 4/4 time, like a 140 tempo. I feel like everything kind of flows at like a same kind of like speed. And sometimes, especially like when I program, like it's like the flow state, right? I feel like sometimes I do feel like I'm locked in and I can just see exactly what I do need, but need to do. And it's like that limitless, like when you like the movie Limitless, like when he locks in, he's able to see like all the different paths. So I
Mm-hmm.
do feel like, yeah, I can see like I guess the code in life, but it's more like I'm locked in and focused on what I exactly need to do.
So a hyper focus maybe is what draws that out.
Yeah, because I feel like that's whenever I'm able to like build and create the most. Whenever like I am in that state, because I feel like that's also something that all creatives kind of get into because it's kind of like you see what you need to do, but it's it's kind of like it's a weird you guys understand, but
Hmm. And as I guess is that kind of your role, like the applicable nature of your job? You know what I'm saying? Like what you were talking about earlier when a lot of students get taught theory. I came on the other end where, you know, I learned this shit myself. So no, sorry.
You know what that is?
What?
Says smoke right there.
You said it's a smoke?
That's
He said it's a
what
smoke.
I do it all the time. Be in the middle of a conversation and I'd be like, never mind. Just forget what I was
Yeah,
about to say.
I know it was a flow state, but I don't know what I was gonna say about the flow state. Correct.
Do do you have like something you know you can do to get to it? Like, you know, I've been in it so much that like I know this is how I get to it, or it just comes naturally. Your flow state.
Let's see.
I think I may know you both. Well, I think I can answer both of your questions. I think you were asking is there like am I more of like a systems thinker, like having to understand the overall like was that what you were trying to get at? But to answer your question, to get into the flow state, yes, because I used to do meditation a lot, where you like trying to get into like that calm like mental state, like where you don't think about anything. You know what I'm talking about? I feel like kind of learning how to do that and like calm myself in my state of mind. That does help me get into a flow state because it's hard to focus in and hyper focus on what you need to do if you are thinking about anything and everything but what you need to do. And I don't know if this is answering your question, Mark, but when it came to me building things, yes, I had to kind of like learn how to do the overall, like learn the system from the ground up to the end. Because like whenever I'm working with individuals like at work, they may know like what a variable is and like how to do like a for loop and like what a function is in a class and like the objects and like it's like learning a language. You might know how to say like hello and what an apple is and neighborhood and all these different things, but can I like actually string a sentence together, right? So I had to learn how to do that myself, and that is something that I do find myself helping like teach people how to do it because it's like if you're going to build, it's kind of like the best analogy I have is you kind of have to teach like how to think about a problem. So it's like, say we're going to give someone a task, like write instructions to tie a shoe,
Mhm.
right? They may know like, oh, I know what shoelace is. I know what a shoe is. And yeah, but they don't understand like how to break down the process into figuring out how to get the shoe tied, right? And because I had to learn that myself. Like I would do like I would go interview with other companies and figure out what they asked. That way I could figure out how to be a better programmer and then also help other people learn how to do that. Because like if you're gonna tell like because all programming is writing instructions and like variables and for loops are just like if you have to fix a fence, the script would be like grab nail, grab board, and line it up and like hit the this like a basic version, but you would write a script that kind of like handles how you would do it in real life. So it's like if you were tying a shoe, you have to think about like does the shoe have laces? Is it velcro? Are they sandals? Because if they're sandals, they just put the shoe right, they put it right on their foot, they're good. They don't even have to tie the shoe. Velcro, a same thing, they have to put their foot in the shoe, but it's, you know, a different process. They have to tighten like a little strap. And then it's like if they actually have laces, then you have to be like, you know, right over left or left over right, and however you want to have them tie it, and then boom, they're done. So they don't necessarily know to think about things like that. Or if say you're building like something like a Facebook, well, like they may not know if I'm going to have a user, I have to, we have to have like an authentication. So they log in with their user and password. Well, then what happens after they log in? Where do they go? Okay, well, we have to figure out how to break down that process kind of bit by bit and go from there. But that's kind of what we kind of how we do it, if that makes sense.
So
It
like,
does.
yeah, you kind of answered what I was aiming for, because in that most people aren't going to be script writing. Most people are not going to be into traditional programming, with AI just being what it has been and what it's going into. So I guess like quick question, like would a scriptwriter be like the best for putting like that human touch on when it comes to like at least having that perspective of like the human, like what you were just talking about. If I go in and use AI, I'm just asking it to do something for me. You're already breaking down what's the shoe, what's this, what's that. So when it comes to the effectiveness and use of AI, is it going to be the script writers? Is it going to be like people with that eye and perspective? Like what's going to set apart people who use AI to its greatest, I don't know, ability?
Most definitely the people who are experts in that field. So it's like, as someone who like I write programs and everything, right? So as a software engineer, if I weren't using AI, I'm almost wasting my time, just because nowadays, even if you are new at programming, because like I've been doing a few challenges myself of like, how basic of a prompt can I type in to get something out of it, and you could do a lot of it. Like if you have very basic knowledge of how to write an app, you could get still a lot done. You won't be able to take it to that next level, but you still could get it somewhere where you could pass it on to a developer to do that, or better yet, learn. But as someone who does write, like who does know it, you're able to get a lot further, because like you said, I can break down the changes for the AI into smaller phases. And since I know exactly what it needs to be done, it doesn't get caught up in what we call hallucinations, where it will say, "Oh, yes, I did add something where it didn't," or that it does need something when it doesn't. You kind of know these pitfalls, and you can kind of break down the project in a little bit more manageable pieces. And like for me, what would normally take me maybe a week or 2 weeks or even more, I can get something done in like a few hours, right? Which is crazy and extremely helpful. But at the same time, I think if you are someone who doesn't know anything about this, gives you right now, since it can write about anything, you can make anything with AI. It's also in a place where if you don't know anything, you could almost have it teach you that information and then help you kind of catch up, because it's like, even though somebody with the knowledge will do way better, it's like newbie with the AI can compete with someone who's almost an expert, just because the AI can give you that knowledge. Because like how we talk about, like, because we kind of meme about it in the X space, it's like a junior dev is less than a senior dev, but then a junior dev with AI is still greater than a senior developer, because something like, I use Claude Code for my main programming agent, right? And Claude or Copus is around PhD level. So, or college grad level, right? If that. So if you're a junior developer programmer, you don't know anything about programming, and you want to start make an app and you want to start your business, well, just type, like, if you get Claude Code, you get the $100 plan, you download it, you type in, build me a app that, or you could probably, what I've been doing is I'll go to Claude, I'll say, do research for this app, and then write me an initial prompt that I can use in the Claude Code to build out phases in the app. And then once it does that for maybe like 30 minutes, I grab the prompt, pop it in there, and then I maybe have like 80% of like a demo project just done without even me typing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you have somebody who already doesn't know how to program, you could still just do that and get something, and the tools are only getting better just because if you say use Claude, like Claude's been my favorite. You can link it up to Claude Code for programming. You can link it up to your Canva and Figma. And then you can say, yeah, you can link it up to your Canva and your Figma. You can say, make me a website, a demo for a web app or a website. You can put the link of whatever website you want maybe to kind of like look like. It'll attempt to do it. It'll attempt to make it, and you can get really far, especially if you just need like a demo and like just a basic demo, a proof of concept to get people to try out your idea. And it's crazy. So, but I think if you're a professional, the expert will always be able to take it the furthest, and beginners using it will still be able to compete. Because to wrap it up there, your job's not going to get replaced by AI. It's going to be replaced by someone who is using AI. That is the thing.
All right. And just quickly, what field study would people who want to get on that fast track to the future get into?
I think, well, I went through a little webinar maybe a couple weeks ago where they talk a lot about this, and from my opinion, I kind of did my own research to kind of see if I align with it. I think philosophy, people who are thinkers and learning new ways to think and come up with ideas, just because you're going to be the one you're writing, you're going to be producing content. It still needs AI still needs a human element, and it still needs we still need thought, ideas, new concepts for us to utilize with AI to progress even further and to kind of like create more ethics around how we do and don't use AI. I think the STEM was always going to be here to stay. Unfortunately, if you can still do well, you can still do music and art, but for general use, it's going to be a lot harder to become popular
So,
just
what do I
because
need to know as an artist? Like, what else do I need to know? Like, do I
learn how to
need something?
program.
Okay. Okay.
Learn how to program. Yeah, if you learning how to code is not that hard, and then it is hard, I will say, but it is something. The hard part
It's
of it
just
is
like
just time.
learning a new language.
Yeah, if you're if you're decent at math, like I'll say, I was bad at math in school. I was bad at math. The best way for me to think about programming was to think about it like music, because I knew how to play trombone and baritone and everything like that. I just use I just try to think about it like each line or each function is like a measure or a note in script music, and then I just try to apply those concepts to programming. And especially like whenever you're using packages or doing research, a lot of your code in the beginning, if you figure out how to read other people's code, it can be copy and paste, kind of like how you're sampling other people's notes and music from. So it's like I might need I might need like a cop, like, well, for example, like say you need a truncation function, like to make your text shorter, right? Well, when I was first learning how to do it, I didn't know how to write it. So I would Google how it was done, find someone else's function, pop it into my code, and then maybe edit it a little bit to get it to work how I wanted it. But it was kind of like if you're making music, you just, oh, I need that sample. You hear it, you find it, you cut it, you mix it how you need it, then you put it in your song. But I think anybody can learn how to program. Just there are a lot more tools now than whenever maybe like 10 years ago. Because if you were going to learn maybe like 10 years ago or even before that, there was almost like no documentation. Whereas now you have AI.
That's a crazy 10-year swing.
Yeah.
It is.
That shows how our man sees the code too.
Right.
Music
Right.
and code.
This the
Yep.
sampling, and
Yep.
that's
Yep. That's
that's
hard.
getting clipped right there. I'll
That's
tell
getting
you that
clipped
much.
right there. Yes, sir.
I'm
It's a
clipping
clipper.
that part right
He's a
there.
clipper. He's a
Like
Los Angeles
there's
clipper.
Hey.
um what I got. So since we on AI, you don't have to go into too much. These are just not really personal to you, but about AI. You kind of touched on it. You
What?
said no, it was about AI replacing jobs. Like,
Okay.
are we there yet? Are we? Is it inevitable one day? 50 years, 100 years? Like,
500.
is it? Are they gonna be all AI jobs, and we're gonna have to find another way for society to make money as a whole? You know what I mean?
And
Like,
also, have you seen the Animatrix?
Is it?
You it it's like anime came they came out after the Matrix, but it's supposed to prelude the
No,
Matrix.
I haven't, but I wanted to see it. I've seen like
it's on YouTube
okay.
I would love to see your thoughts on that. Maybe you should review that for your channel or something like that.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be some
for
shit for your channel.
sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
just to see your reaction and shit like that. I would love to see it.
Yeah, I
So,
will have to do that.
and your opinion. But anyways, keep going.
About like, is it inevitable? Is
Is it
there a
inevitable?
time frame that you think like by this time? Yeah.
I think 5-10 years. Yeah, we're definitely cooked. Yeah. If you're not, you need to be using it now. It's not a oh, is it going to be in the
Yeah,
workplace? It's
shit.
all like low key. People are getting like there's already downsizing in tech companies now. So it's
Okay.
like if you should be using AI. If you're not, you're gonna be people are gonna be like you're wasting time. Like for me, for real, like if a task took me a week to write code and I can literally say write me XYZ and it can do it in like an hour and I can spend that time debugging it and doing other features, like why would I not be doing that? Right? It's powerful. But I will say this, I think people will lose jobs. For example, it's like the ATM, how it made bank tellers lose jobs, but they at the same time, because you are able to kind of like focus in on a whole new another dimension of work, you are able to hire on more jobs. But I think as we progress, there's going to be a level of like classism that is going to be introduced into this. And I was going to say, because I think what's going to happen is it's going to be we're gonna have like the Neuralink. You're gonna need something like a Neuralink implant. You're gonna need like they're gonna try to do stuff like you're gonna have to have bio, yeah. And if you don't have the money to get like a Neuralink put in your head, or if you don't want to, like, say the job is going to do it to you for working there, like you just get it for working there, and you don't want the go to the surgery or do any of that, well then you don't get the job, you don't get the money. And the more people who, you know what I'm saying, like eventually they're going to be a lot more people who are going to be like, it's going to make me smarter, it's going to make me faster, it's going to make me whatever, I can see better. Oh yeah, it's going to make me happier. Yeah, I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the only thing I can think that will help us out would be maybe, I know not a lot of people like it. I'm low key a little bit of a supporter of like the universal basic income kind of deal, but I think that'll have to come from companies that utilize AI and directly remove people's jobs. Like if you're using AI and if you're using AI instead of hiring a human and not allowing like a human like to still be in the loop, then yeah, I think you should be tasked for that. Like you should be taxed for that. But at the same time, I think that will force us to be more entrepreneurial like, and it'll also be a era for creatives. Just because if you have ideas and you're willing to kind of do the risk and learn the technology and tools to do it, I think it'll be a lot easier for to get those ideas out there. Because it's like if you play around with Google VO3, it's maybe like a $200 subscription, but you can make AI videos pretty decent. But I know you guys have been playing around with Midjourney. You guys can do like the videos there. So it's like if you're not playing around with these and you're not figuring out and you're not pushing it to the limit. You're not like, you know what I'm saying? If you're not like, how can I make an AI video off of this? Like, because you can do some of this stuff now, and that's where I think it'll be. So if you're not working with AI, you're already lost. If you're not doing it now, you're probably a little bit behind, but you still have time to catch up. But 5-10 years, that's if you haven't done it in the next 5 to 10 years, you're done. Like you're gonna be like the old people now. How do I open up a file? And they're gonna be like, all right, we're gonna need you to retire. I'm sorry.
All right, so I'm gonna teach my parents that, man. I'm gonna teach my parents because it already saves me so much time as is.
Mhm.
Like, so that's crazy. Like, are you sure you haven't seen the Animatrix?
I don't think I have. I feel like I've seen like clips of it, but I don't know if the
See,
top.
you would be. This is
You
the thing, Marcus. He would be one of the dudes in it, like that is based on, and like he has his own little side story of like one day he just kept like it's good.
what
You'll have to
sad
see it.
story is Warren? What sad story is Warren? Oh
Like,
gosh, we gonna have that's gonna be
you
for
know what I
another day.
mean?
You really need to live react to that. I'm not gonna say anything more, but I think you are going
What is
to
it? 50 minutes,
50
an
minutes, and
hour?
then like even if he just live reacts to the first episode, because
Yeah,
first
it ain't.
episode kind of tells the whole backstory of how the Matrix became the Matrix.
Okay, yeah, I have
Yes,
to.
it's really good. I got just a couple more things. It's kind of like
That's cool.
that. Like you kind of touched on the VO. You mentioned that, and you also talked. So these are my two questions I was gonna ask. One is, do you think as AI gets better, humans get less intelligent? The other is, I talked to Marcus about this.
Shout out to my bros, Juice Daddy. Now they're two brothers. Juice Daddy, go follow them on Insta. This is their poppy, pineapple, strawberry, cucumber, watermelon, and lime. And this one is their stepdaddy. Apple, celery, lemon, kale, ginger. It's a sweet with earthy taste. You can get orders from them online. You can pick them up. You can see them at the farmers market. They're at both the St. Matthews and the New Albany farmers market on Saturdays. Just tap in with them, man.